When I crumple a note, will you not pick it up? Your answer will be, how does it affect its value? When you're crumpling a paper, it's of no use. You say it's no longer worth to be, you can write on it or do something about it. But when I crumple a note, you still choose to pick it up. Such is the nature and the worth of a person. When you crumple a note, it makes a lot of sound. But when it has fallen in the street, you still make attempt to pick it up and find out that is it a real or a fake note or a currency. But what we forget about our own self is when people crumple you, when people put in pressure upon you, so much so that you're devastated, you're destroyed, you feel as if that humiliation was always meant for you and that humiliation describes you as a person. Why do you forget that that humiliation is a way of reflection of the thoughts that a particular person had for you in previous time and that is being reflected by his misbehavior or bad behavior? What we need to understand in our life, when somebody disrespects us, when this disrespect goes onto our head, starts troubling us, we start torturing our own self, what we need to understand is a very simple concept that this is the way that they reflect their opinion, their interpretation about you, and it does not define you. So the worth of a person is he as a total. It is not decided by way of others perceiving him. I hope so. This message is very much clear. But to make it very clear, I'll tell you a very short story that a parent used for his child. So once there was a time of these, results era that goes on, and a child gets a result which he hasn't expected. He goes into a trauma, he curses himself. So this time it is not the parents that are making the child feel depressed about it, but this time it is the child himself who takes up the pressure of the excellence, and he is not about to reach, or she is not about to reach that particular excellence. The child automatically starts going into depression when suddenly this mother gets an idea, and what idea does she get is reflected in the story. She calls up her child and asks her or him to go into the market with a small jewel that she had, and she wants him to realize what was the worth of that particular gemstone was. So she gives that stone to that child and she says, "Child, I want you to take this stone to different people and then try to find out what is the worth of that stone is. And whosoever gives you the best worth, come to me and then tell me, then we'll decide upon it." Thinking that it is a very essential task, the child decides to leave for the task the very next morning. He gets up with a very firm mind that I will try to get the best worth of this stone. So he begins his journey as per the instruction of the mother. He begins the journey outside the house and he sees a cobbler. You know what cobbler is? He goes to the cobbler and he says this is a stone. I want you to tell me what is the worth of it. The cobbler sees the stone. Well, he is not able to understand. And he says I can give you 10 rupees, 10 bucks about it. So he says, okay, fine, I'll decide. And he moves ahead. When he moves ahead, he goes to a general grocery store where he shows it to the main merchant of that grocery store and he wants him to analyze the value. The grocery store person, he sees the stone and he feels that this is a stone worth buying. So he decides upon and he says that I can give you 200 bucks about it. Okay, fine. The boy is okay with it. He moves forward and now the day is it's opening time. So the showrooms are opening. He goes to a merchant who has been selling for so many years of experience. When he goes to this merchant, he says okay, he's a money lending businessman and he sees the stone and he knows that the stone is worth something, but still friends because the stone is brought by a small child of 16 years. So he has a doubt that it may be a stolen one or this person is in need. So he decides to give him a bargain of about 5,000. That's it. He says like 5,000 and I'm sure you won't get more than this. He's okay with it. He says, okay, I'll just decide upon thinking about that this stone worth 5,000 gives him a doubt in his mind now. He makes attempt to find the right person. He goes into the main market. He tries it with from one jeweler to the other, 1 to 2 and 3 and so many. By the evening, the price has risen to 1 lakh. The price has risen, mark my words, the price has risen to 1 lakh. This is the point where he realizes that maybe that worth was beyond this. With that receipt of 1 lakh that could be given in exchange of the stone, he decides to take it to an industrialist. Now this industrialist, he deals in specialized stones. He sees that stone, he says, this is not even worth 1 lakh. This is a thing that is going to make you a millionaire. This is a thing which people have been looking for so many years. It's an antique stone, and this is a stone which I can give you thousands of things for it. It's like, more than 1 crore, more than something that you can think of. And then he says like, I'm ready for the deal. Let's close the deal, because he's an industrialist. He says, no, my mother told me just to find out the value and then come back. Well, I feel that you are the right person, and I'll tell my mother to come to you the very next day for the deal of this stone. The child hasn't still realized the message. When he goes back to his mother, he sees his mother making, smiling faces at him. She sees the time is almost sunset, and the child is like very tired, very exhausted, but the happiness on his face shows his satisfaction. The woman is very much pleased to know that the stone is worth, as an antique stone, is worth everything that they can ever think of. Well, but she's not shocked. Why? Because she already knew the worth, and that was a stone that she had from her grandparents and they from their grandparents. But the only thing that she wanted a child to learn was the lesson of life. Life teaches us that what we have actually achieved is our experiences. The child, meanwhile, while he was going from one person to another, he was realizing the worth of the stone much and much more than whatever the previous one has said. This is what our life is supposed to be. हमें कैसा फील होता है, हमें ह्यूमिलिएशन किया जाता है, इरिटेट किया जाता है, हमें लाइफ में कई बार we meet people who actually put on us the label so called जैसा वो हमें interpret करते हैं. We get disappointed, we get disoriented, and we start feeling that way. That is what their motive is. What we need to understand is whatever you think about me is not what I am. Whatever I think about myself when I see in the mirror, it's what I am. So when somebody says that I'm an arrogant person, when somebody says when I'm, not doing good, it's not what they want me to understand, it's what they are understanding of me. I think so the message is quite clear, and I don't want anybody out there seeing my video not to forget about one very important thing, and that one important thing is that you see yourself with your own eyes, with the eyes that you see yourself in the mirror when you get up in the morning. It should be very positive, it should be very, very enthusiastic, ready for doing the whatever work or target you've decided for, and let the rest of the things, the humiliation or exploitation or irritation or anger or agony should remain by the side. When the day ends, you should forget about it and start a new beginning every day. And I want, if you like this video, do share it with your loved ones, subscribe to my channel,